to know. Gautama Buddha, the Lord Sakyamuni Buddha, was one of Nepal's most famous philosopher, mendicant, meditator, spiritual teacher, and religious leader. Gautama Buddha is revered as the founder of the world religion of Buddhism. Lord Buddha founded Buddhism in 588 BC. Sakyamuni Buddha was born on the full moon day, in the month of Baishak, of Nepali calendar, or in 623 BC, of Gregorian calendar. He was born into a royal family, in the sacred area of Lumbini, Kapilvastu, located in the terai plains of southern Nepal. The inscription on the Ashoka pillar, in Lumbini, which was erected by the Mauryan emperor, Ashoka, in 249 BC, testifies Lumbini to be the birthplace of Lord Sakyamuni Buddha. The inscription in the pillar translates as, when King Devanampriya, Priyadarsan, had been anointed 20 years, he came himself, and worshipped this spot. Because the Buddha Shakyamuni was born here, he both caused to be made a stone bearing a horse, and caused a stone pillar to be set up, in order to show that the Blessed One was born here. He made the village of Lumbini free of taxes, and paying only an 1/8 share of the produce. Gautama Buddha, father name was Subhadana Gautama, who was the king of Kapilvastu, and leader of Shakya clan, that lived in ancient Kapilvastu, Nepal, and his mother name was Queen Maya Devi. One night, Queen Maya Devi dreamed that a white elephant descended from heaven, and entered her womb. The white elephant entering her womb, indicated that, on that very night, she had conceived a child, who was a pure and powerful being. The elephants descending from heaven, indicated that, her child came from Tushita heaven, the pure land of Buddha Maitreya. Later, after taking a holy dip in the Puskarani pond, when she was on her way from Kapilvastu to her maternal home in Devadaha for the delivery, she gave birth to the child under the sal tree in the Lumbini garden. Instead of experiencing pain, the queen experienced a special pure vision, in which she stood holding the branch of a tree with her right hand, while the gods Brahma and Indra took the child painlessly from her side. Immediately after the birth, the future Lord Sakyamuni Buddha took 7 steps to the north, looked around and announced, "This is my last birth, henceforth, there will be no rebirth for me in the Lumbini garden." Every place, the baby Gautama placed his foot, a lotus flower bloom. They then proceeded to honor the infant by offering him ritual ablutions. He was given the purification bath in the Puskarani pond. When the king saw the child, he felt as if all his wishes had been fulfilled, and he named the young prince Siddhartha. He invited a Brahmin seer to make predictions about the prince's future. The seer examined the child with his clairvoyance, and told the king, there are signs that the boy could become either a Chakravartin king, a ruler of the entire world, or a fully enlightened Buddha. Siddhartha Gautama's mother died after the 7 days of his birth. After the death of his mother, he was raised by his mother's younger sister, his stepmother, Mahapajapati. Right from his childhood, Siddhartha showed inclination towards contemplation. He loved seclusion, and avoided the company of his playmates. But his father wanted Siddhartha to become a great king, so he raised him in the lap of luxury, and shielded him from religious knowledge of any kind. His father did not want Siddhartha to learn about human hardships and sufferings. as he was afraid that such knowledge might lead the boy towards spirituality. So he took great care to ensure that his son was raised in seclusion and kept away from the knowledge of natural processes like aging and death. His father tried his best to keep his young son away from the miseries of the world. Having spent his childhood confined to his palace, young Siddhartha grew curious about the world outside the palace, and asked the charioteer to take him on a tour outside the palace. While traveling through the city, he came across an old crippled man, a sick man, a dead body, and a holy man with no home. These sights shocked him, as he had no prior knowledge about the concepts of sickness, old age, death, and asceticism. The charioteer explained to him that sickness, aging, and death were part and parcel of life, and that some people renounce their worldly life in order to seek answers to questions regarding human sufferings. Siddhartha was troubled after witnessing these sights. The opulence of palace life no longer interested him, and he realized that he had to seek the ultimate truth. This new knowledge of the sufferings in the world gave rise to several questions within his mind. He spent most of his time meditating over the various human problems. When Siddhartha was at the age of 16, his father Suddhodana tried to attract him towards worldly objects, and married Siddhartha to a beautiful princess, Yashodhara, the daughter of a Sakya noble. He provided all possible pleasures and luxuries to the young Siddhartha, so that he could get involved in the worldly affairs. But Siddhartha was not happy with all this. He continued to concentrate on problems of birth, old age, sickness, sorrow, and impurity. At the age of 29, he was blessed with a son, Rahul, but he didn't feel happy. Instead, he considered it as a bond. Soon after the birth of his son, he renounced all his worldly affairs and secretly left his palace in search of truth and became a wandering ascetic. He assumed that living a life of self-denial will provide him with the answers that he was looking for. For the next 6 years, he lived a life of extreme austerity, eating very little food and fasting till he became very weak. Over these years, he gained 5 followers with whom he practiced rigorous austerity. In spite of living such a simple life and subjecting himself to great physical sufferings, Siddhartha was not successful in getting the answers he sought. After starving himself for days, he accepted a bowl of rice from a young woman. After having this meal, he realized that living under harsh physical constraints was not helping him achieve his spiritual goals, and that leading a balanced life was better than living a life of extreme self-denial. His followers, however, abandoned him, assuming that he had given up on his spiritual quest. Following this, he started meditating under a fig tree, which is now called the Bodhi tree, and promised himself that he would not move until he attained enlightenment. He meditated for several days and visualized his entire life and previous lives. After meditating for 49 days, he finally found the answer to the questions that he had been seeking for so many years. He found pure enlightenment, and in that moment of enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, which means the awakened one, or the enlightened one. At the time of his enlightenment, he gained complete insight into the cause of suffering and the necessary steps to eliminate it. He called these steps the Four Noble Truths. After getting enlightenment, Buddha remained under the Bodhi tree for more weeks, contemplating upon the truth he just realized. He was initially reluctant to spread his knowledge to others. He thought that this truth was so profound and radical, people won't believe or listen to him, as he was doubtful whether common people would understand his teachings. But then, the leading god Brahma convinced Buddha to preach his insight to suffering sentient beings. And he got up from his spot under the Bodhi tree and set out to do just that. Leaving the Bodhi tree, he went to a deer park in Isipatana, where he found the 5 companions who had earlier abandoned him. He preached his first sermon to them and to others who had gathered there. In his sermon, he focused on the 4 noble truths. Dukkha, truth of suffering, which means the world is full of suffering. Samudaya, truth of the cause for suffering, which means the cause of suffering is human desire. Nirodha, truth of the end of suffering, which means suffering can be ended by overcoming desire. And Marga, truth of the path, which means the desire can be suppressed by following the Eightfold Path. He further explained the Marga in his Eightfold Path to end the cravings which cause suffering. He said, the truth is found through the middle way, or the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path includes Samadikti, right view, which means know the truth. Samasankappa, right thought, which means free your mind of evil. Samavaka, right speech, which means say nothing which hurts other. Samakamanta, right action, which means work for the good of others. Samajiva, right livelihood, which means respect life. Samavayama, right effort, which means resist evil. Samasati, right mindfulness, which means control your thoughts. Samasamadhi, right concentration, which means practice meditation. After hearing the Buddha's teaching, they became enlightened and joined the Buddhist order and became the first follower of Buddha. Gautama Buddha spent the rest of his life traveling and teaching a diverse range of people, from nobles to criminals. Later on, Gautama Buddha proceeded to Kapilvastu at the request of his father and reconciled with his father, where a large number of people became his disciples, including his wife Yashodhara and his son Rahul. His wife became a nun, while his son became a novice monk at a young age. Gautama Buddha is believed to have died at the age of 80. The Buddha died near the town of Kushinagar in northern India, near the border with Nepal. He died of food poisoning after accepting an offering of food from blacksmith. As the news that the Buddha was dying spread, his grief-stricken followers gathered around him to hear the Buddha's final teaching before he left the world forever. At the time of his death, he told his followers that they should follow no leader, but to be your own light. The Buddha is undoubtedly one of the most influential figures in world history, and his teachings have affected everything from a variety of other faiths to literature to philosophy. Today, an estimated 350 million people across the world adhere to Buddhist beliefs and practices. He is also worshipped as a manifestation of God in Hinduism and the Baha'i faith. Some Hindu texts regard Buddha as an avatar of the god Vishnu, who came to earth to delude beings away from the Vedic religion. Thanks for watching the video. For more update to my new videos, press the bell icon. And please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.